Welcome to Tomah, Wisconsin, the Countdown to Pull Time show. I'm Dan Mayer, joined by Charles Posch as well as Alan Washburn. We got Doc Riley here and Miles Krieger joining us here, one of the 5 announcers for our Countdown show. And Charles, what a weekend we have seen here so far.
Absolutely. It's been a fantastic weekend. I think if we're going to identify one particular storyline, first among equals has to be the weather.
Yes, absolutely. How many times been to Tomah? I think this is the first time since before COVID we're able to get all 5 sessions in before being interfered with Mother Nature.
Tends to be that way here. That's just a fickle part of being in the Midwest, but certainly you guys have seen that sort of experience in your past year as well.
Yeah,
absolutely. You know, you can't ever count on, everyone always laughed that you could always count on the rain happening here in Tomah, but you know, remember back in the days when you didn't have any rain whatsoever and you had temperatures like this, 70 degrees throughout the weekend, low humidity, just an absolute perfect weekend to be in Tomah, Wisconsin.
It's one of those things, Doc. I agree with you. You always said, I'm headed to Tomah. They said, how many sessions are you going to lose this year? Well, not this year. We're not going to lose any. It's a beautiful, beautiful weekend.
Yeah, let's bring in Jeff Miller from Mitas Tire. Come on in, sir. Yeah, we'll have you come
we're going to
there.
put you right in the middle here, Jeff. We're going to put you right in the middle.
Big weekend for you, having here, your booth is set up here in the back and expressing your wares, not only the competitors, but also people in the ag market that you also provide to, but also a special presentation as well to the fire department here with a grain bin rescue kit.
Yeah, on Friday afternoon before the morning or the afternoon session, we were thrilled and very proud that we were able to give the Tomah Fire Department a grain rescue kit for their work to save farmers.
Important piece and a community engagement piece for Mitas, and thank you for doing that. It is an important thing, confined space rescue.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw that up in Hutchinson, Minnesota, same kind of deal up there, and of course they appreciate that. Now, Jeff, let's flip on over to the pulling side of things with NTPA. How did this all come about?
On the grain card or just the sponsorship in TPA? Well, we've been involved with tractor pulling since we first came out with our first hire in 2015, and we've steadily progressed and expanded our support of the sport till the opportunity came to be the title sponsor of the year-end pull-off event in Urbana, Ohio on September 19th. So it used to be the Enderley, and thank you very much to the Enderley Corporation for doing that. It's now the Mitas All-Star Pull-Off, September 19th.
Yeah, and Jeff, what an awesome way to end the season. Of course, you guys have worked the Enderley for how many years and just how prestigious it actually is, but to have a sponsor come in and take over the reins like that, just incredible.
And I would like to say on behalf, knowing Kent and Joan Enderley from the very beginning of the Enderley pull-off, that it's so nice for someone to step up like Mitas to continue the tradition. Kent and Joan Enderley had gone to another sanctioning body and said, we want to do something that gives the money back to the pullers, and that sanctioning body said, we're not interested. Kent came back home. Joan said, well, how was your meeting? Kent said, oh, they turned us down. She goes, get the thing with the tractors, that magazine they kept sending us, the thing with the tractors. And they did, and that partnership began. So it is good because Kent and Joan died several years ago. It was a memorial. Their son, is not in a situation to do that anymore. So it's very good that you've been able to take the all-star part of it, which it's always been, and continue that. And that really means an awful lot. It really, really does to a number of pulling fans, but also to the people that compete. Big honor to be in the All-Star event and the All-Star Pull in Champaign.
Absolutely. Looking for the opportunity to work a little more closely with you, get more acquainted with you, because I've only seen you here this weekend. I know who you were. I knew Mitas' name, and I have for years, but now I can put a face with the product.
Anybody who's not here this weekend to engage with you in person and is curious about Mitas and the products they have to offer, how do they find you guys? Where do they look?
Probably the easiest way to find us is really talk to your local tire dealer. We're well known across the Midwest, actually across the world. So just ask them, hey, what about those Mitas Ag tires? I mean, we're on the track. We're able to get all this power to the ground, and they last and last. And we want to do the same for the farmers in the field.
Excellent. Jeff Miller, Mitas Tires, thank you again for your involvement with NTPA and all you're doing. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Charles.
And Jeff, before you leave, I got to say one thing. Whoever wrapped your Mitas trailer did a nice job because it's got a pulling vehicle on it in addition to the agriculture and the trucking tires as well. So a nice touch right there. Thanks for being a part of the family.
So once again, we're here in Tomah, Wisconsin, NTPA Championship Tractor and Truck Pulling here for the Budweiser Dairyland Super Nationals 51st edition. Tomah, Wisconsin. We're just a couple hours north of the Chicago area up here in Wisconsin. And beautiful weather here tonight, Charles.
Absolutely. It has been perfect throughout the week. You know, there was a little bit of rain early in the week, which only benefits this facility and the pulling tracks in general. But the past few years where you needed muck boots to walk around the pit area, the swamp where some are pitted and refer to it, has not been a problem for us. We're in the mid-70s and been beautiful all weekend.
And one thing I want to touch on before we break here for the show is let's talk about all the first-time winners we've had here this weekend. Now, this afternoon, had the opportunity to go talk to Chad Timmerman, the mini-modified winner. Just absolutely ecstatic after that victory. And he could barely put the words together, but that means a lot. I mean, you win here in Tomah, it's going in the record book. It's going to be there forever.
Yeah, the history of this event being a super national and knowing that you've got to go through the sort of murderer's row that's going to arrive for an event such as this one. And, you know, not just the Grand National guys, but the guys who are a threat regionally that Timmermans have to go against all the time, too. You got to go past all those guys to get in this spot.
Well, I think it's great because you can look at the fact that no one knows they're going to win here. And it doesn't matter if you've run regionally and come up for a number of years to be able to come here. You always want to put your best foot forward. And you can tell by piloting a mini rod, one of the most unpredictable things that happen. If you can control that, end up being at the top of the heap, coming up here to the Kenny Mack Tower in the winner's circle, that's something big.
It's one of those things that you find these people that show up and say, I've never won here before. This is phenomenal. And that says it all right there.
Well, yeah, we're going to take a look here at a clip of Dylan Kuslik, the big winner in our Super Stock Diesel Truck class. Dylan, it was so important to him to be here in Tomah this weekend. He had to boogie on out of here before we got a chance to interview him. He had to go to a wedding this afternoon. So, yeah, he was able to run the truck and then go to the wedding tonight. He'll make it in time.
Yeah, local guy and stepped up as part of the team to make some things happen. And, boy, it's impressive being different, being the V8. It just makes it fun.
And you look at the success they've had and how many laps he made up to the tower in, getting paid off for what he was able to do here this weekend. Big feather in that team's hat.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll talk about the super modified two-wheel drive class this afternoon. Once again, big numbers. We always see that at Tomah. But Dustin Amundsen, his first time here at Tomah, taking the victories. Won Grand Nationals before, but that first one in Tomah is so sweet. And they're only, just 2.5 hours from home. And they said they were going to hang around tonight, check out all the action, hang out, and savor that victory.
And they should.
It was kind of a unique situation, the two-wheel drives, when they made their run. Russ Nichols led for so very long. And then late in the session, Dustin says, watch this.
That almost came out of nowhere to be able to do it. Everyone else had been going through. He had little knots of people at this particular yardage. But, Russ Nichols was way up there in front. And then suddenly he was way behind in second place.
And we got to give hats off to our track crew. I mean, they are the unsung heroes here in Tomah. They put together them tracks every year and
continue to maintain it. And you talk to any one of the pullers, it doesn't make any difference what class they're in. They always talk about the track commissions, and the track crew here at Tomah. They're the best in the business.
One thing I would like to point out when it comes to the track, though, and I can't fault any one particular track crew because we've seen it everywhere this year, the out-of-bounds runs. Absolute endemic of them this year, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we're going to put together a stat with those because, it's just crazy how many we have had over we just in Evansville, Indiana, the start of the season, we saw the mini rod class. There was, one night we had 7 of them out of bounds
like that,
there
yeah.
in that class. And here this afternoon, we saw, both sides of the track. Really, it didn't matter which track, what side you were on. It didn't matter. We were pulling them out of bounds everywhere.
It took a little horsepower to be able to get to the winner's circle here and be able to handle that horsepower.
And do it straight.
And even to your point, Doc, when it comes to horsepower, if you're riding that brake, how much more horsepower do you need to pull through it?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, speaking of which, it's not all horsepower because talking to Wayne Sullivan and his interview, and he had said, hey, I was on the brake for 200 feet out there and still had the momentum going. So there you go.
Here it is on the screen. We'll play it back. Wayne's winning run, standing on that left pedal the whole trip.
And he said he was not going to let it go up. He said, I've been out of bounds 4 times. One time here, and he pointed right to the spot where he went out of bounds here. And so, it was a tough track. He had to learn how to tame it. Some people tried some different ideas, and they didn't pan out.
I had to laugh at his victory lane interview, saying that he felt like it was a pleasure to drive the tractor, but he also knew that the rest of the crew, even if he couldn't walk, they were going to carry him to it and put him in the seat.
And then another thing we talk about is the driving aspect of pulling. We talk about all that horsepower, we talk about tracks, but you got to be, crafty sometimes to get down these tracks. And, of course, we saw it here this afternoon with the afternoon tracks. Now, usually the night tracks, you get the moisture come up, the tracks get better, but afternoon tracks, sometimes you got to go in that old bag of tricks.
And we saw a couple divisions where at the beginning you'd have one type of track, and then at the very closer to the end of the session, a different type of track. So being able to figure that out, you can have all the horsepower in the world, but if you can't plant it in the ground, like, any other form of motorsport, you're just running behind.
And we're watching the Lewis family out there poking and searching for that super dirt out there. They're not looking for gas lines. They're trying to find the line that'll carry them right to victory lane in front of us at some point later tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Great competition here tonight. Doc, you talked about the lineup, what the fans are going to see here tonight. I mean, I think we said, right around 130 vehicles going to hook tonight?
I think plus or minus, you're very, very close there, Dan. I believe 128, don't hold me to that, but 128 or 130, yes.
And of those numbers, 2 cool things. Unlimited's all come back. Super Stock Diesel all comes back.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're listening at home on Facebook or whatever you're listening on, you still got time to get here. Plenty of seats. I know they're going to get a little tight here as we get closer to start time, but absolutely a great event here. 51st annual. You want to be here on Saturday night, right, guys? That's the name of the game.
Exactly.
You have the opportunity to come here and meet face-to-face with some people in our performance marketplace back here. Just a couple of highlights. Hot Shot Secrets. They're giving away a diesel treatment absolutely free. They got 30% off. Of course, Simpson Race products are here. I've seen a lot of people that may not be a tractor puller, but they are going through and picking up their drag racing shoes or their gloves or their hats, and that's very nice because Simpson's been a large part here. And, of course, the folks at Toss Tires around here as well. So that you can get into the grounds, no charge. You can go through the pit area, no charge, but to get a seat in the infield, you got to pay for a ticket, and they're still available here. They make it very easy. You can do it online.
Yeah, over on the Midway, we got our friends of the U.S. Army here, and also down here in this corner, Bob Parks Puller is here on the property as well.
And, Doc, just to your left here, Chris just brought it up here, the Schreier Memorial Cup. This is what it's all about here. I mean, great tradition, 51 years of pulling. Of course, we got to remember, Dave Schreier, the great one here, for making this event what it is, and all the folks behind him. Just a great award to get every year.
We talk about the track, and Dick Schreier, her brother, Dave and Dick, he was very proud of that. He had a great crew to do it. He would never take responsibility or say it's me. It was always the crew, because he said you can't build something like, you can't build a house with one guy. You can, but it'll take some time. The four-wheel drive competitors will be able to hoist this trophy tonight. The winner there, it's sponsored by some pretty important people. S&S Distributing, the Norwalk Lions Club, which has always been a good auxiliary here. G. Stone, you'll remember Gardner Stone, the General Stage 4. A good friend of Tomah, a good friend of Dave Schreier, and of course some people also helping to keep this alive and to make it. We've given it the last couple of years. The neat thing is the Monroe County Agricultural Society picks a different division every year. So this year, four-wheel drive competitors. So a lot on the line for those folks that'll keep all 4 tires on the ground.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. We're getting close here. Start time is, we're just right around the bend here. All those folks, everybody watching here on Full Pull Live. If you're not a subscriber, head on over to fullpull.us. You can do that. Over 200 events we're going to have for you here in 2026. We thank you for tuning in to our Countdown to Pull Time show. Gentlemen, are you guys ready to go? We got
Absolutely.
Doc Riley, Alan Washburn. They're ready to go.
We are ready to go, fellas. You guys go get your the last-minute notes. I know Miles is out combing the pits right now. That's the beauty of what we do, is we've got the people that really know what to do to be able to bring it all together here at Tomah, so that you, the fans, both sitting here and those people that are watching on Full Pull Live, you will have a very memorable time here. We hope that you are enjoying your stay here in Tomah, and we look forward to tonight. Our salute to agriculture will be coming up shortly, and our sponsor for tonight's activities is Angry Farmer, another one of those sponsors that not only competes, but actually does more to give back to the sport. And Todd Dugan has been up here in second place, got some awards this afternoon, but he said, man, I need to give it back because without the people in the grandstands, both on the grandstand side and the pit infield side, we're not doing this. We're not
doesn't
playing.
happen.
We're not a
Exactly.
club. He says, we're not a club. We're the National Tractor Pullers Association, and that shield means something. And in order to give back to the promoter here, the Monroe County Ag Society, to be able to do all of that so that people can come here and have a great time. And I know that there are people been here since, the very beginning. So we're going to welcome you here. We'll do a little housekeeping on the grandstand side. Our light super stocks, our unlimiteds, our super semis, and our pro stocks will be on the grandstand side. On the infield track, super stock diesels tonight, four-wheel drives, the winner receiving the Schreier Memorial Cup, and the light pro stock. That is a Region 3 event. Doesn't matter. You're still winning here in Tomah, and there's something to be proud of there as well. Again, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax. We are not really close to full. We're at about 40 minutes away. So wander the grounds. And again, we welcome you to Tomah, Wisconsin in 51 years. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, well, Chris, we've had our countdown to pull town and pull time, and we're ready to go here. Beautiful night. People still continue to file in right here. We've got some great things that we do here in Tomah. We say all the time that it's important that we remember the people that are here, because the people that work behind the scenes or in front of the scenes make it happen. But there's a lot of people that have invested a lot of time, energy, tears, sweat, from the board on down. I know it's always a good tradition here to show Tomah's appreciation, and that is so, so very important, Christopher.
Yes, it is, Doc. Thank you. For years, we've had many, many volunteers work for us to help put this event on and make it what it is. And it takes a lot of people, and you can't honor them as much as you'd like to, but we do every year try to pull a few people up here and show them our appreciation. At this time, I'd like to invite Scott and Connie Hurd to stand up here by us. Scott and Connie Hurd, for the years of dedication, hard work for the Budweiser Super Nationals Tractor Pull event here in Tomah, Wisconsin. Scott has been working the parking area for over 35 years, whether it be coordinating volunteers or to make sure there's adequate staffing or making sure everything runs smoothly in the parking area. He has been a valuable member of the event team. His wife, Connie, has worked for our event for over 35 years. She started as a ticket seller when she first began, and is now part of our support staff in the office and wherever she is needed leading up to the event and during the event. Connie is always ready and willing to do whatever is needed. They not only are a big part of our tractor pull event team, they are also very involved with the Monroe County Fair about 30 days from right now, every year at the end of July. Both Connie and Scott are also very active in the local community with the nonprofits in our area, such as Tomah Area Community Theater and NASA, the North American Squirrels Association. The Monroe County Ag Society would like to take this opportunity to thank both of those people for their years of hard work and dedication to this event. Please accept this fire pit as a symbol of our appreciation for your years of work. Besides our local volunteers that work right within our organization at the events and everything, or prior to, we also look at maybe service organizations or sponsors or people who are just out there doing things for us before and during. Just a sec. Where is he doing it? There he is. Anthony, would you come up with your family? I didn't see him there around the corner. Like I said before, it takes more than just us to put this thing on, and Anthony here and his family are fully dedicated to us. Anthony has been going to the tractor pull since he was a boy with his dad. Cheering on the four-wheel drive trucks, his favorites. He never thought that he would be involved with the polls in any way besides watching until he was hired by Chet Shanover, our previous S&S distributor of Budweiser product from Sparta, Wisconsin. And for 39 years, he was a hard-working, dedicated employee to S&S. He would be at the tractor pull grounds all weekend to help any way he could, from serving the beer at the pullers party to hanging signs to checking that the Budweiser beer was in stock and always cold, which we all want. But after 39 years, he has decided he would start his own land management business called the Landman, specializing in forestry mulching, soil conditioning, stump grinding, and more. This guy is a hard worker, know wherever he's at. Besides starting a new business, he is really into restoring old cars. He loves spending time with his family and one and only granddaughter, Evelyn, and until recently, his faithful dog, Sylvia. He never met a dog that didn't touch his heart. You can find him dropping off treats at the Monroe County Dog Shelter or sponsoring a dog for the Pets for Patriots program. He is always available to talk, advise, or just for life. He will talk your ear off about cars, politics, or just some crazy nonsense. He is truly a genuine person and loves to help in any way. He personally promotes our event wherever he goes. Monroe County Ag Society takes this opportunity to honor Anthony and present him with this log bench for his new home and shop. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure working with you and your family and Chet. Thank you very much.
Yep. Let's get a picture. Can you get out here in front? I can stand behind you. Okay. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to everyone that helps us out. This is just our way of appreciation. Thank you.
As we look down through our lineups of what we will be seeing this evening, ladies and gentlemen, grandstand side, we'll start with the light super stocks. We'll follow that with the unlimiteds, the semis, and the pro stocks, all on the grandstand side tonight. Infield side, we'll see the super stock diesels, the four-wheel drive, and the light pro stock, which is a Region 3 class we refer to as the 4-1 class. So we have 7 classes tonight. A big thanks to all of our sponsors. Session sponsored by Angry Farmer, of course. But when we get into individuals, the super stocks, Degenhart Equipment, the pro stocks by Brickle Brothers, the four-wheel drive Performance Pros, the Unlimiteds by Tap House 20, the light pro stocks by Tractor Central, the super semi by Rethridge Transport, the super stock diesels by Milestone Material. We have sponsors for all of that, but we also have Top Crew and points champions. We'll crown 7 champions for weekend in all of those classes tonight, as well as award the special award to the top crew of that particular class. So we've got quite a night lined up for you. I think I counted, and I told you a minute ago, and I didn't go back and count, so I should do that. I told you about 125. So very, very shortly, we have a very special group of people to bring in here in just a minute. So we appreciate that. We appreciate the fact that you are here tonight for a beautiful, beautiful Saturday evening. Pay attention. The 50-50 drawing people are around with the orange vests. You can't miss them. Get your 50-50 ticket spot, and we'll take care of that a little later on tonight. We'll have a big, big pot tonight. We hope so. Track comes together as we expected it to, very, very quickly and very nicely. The guys do a great job here. We've talked about the track crew at Tomah before, and it's been said by a lot of these guys, they'd like to take this track crew with them wherever they go, and it's true. There's a crew here that knows the dirt in Tomah. Monroe County has a very special type of dirt, I think. I've been told. I don't know. But that's what we're seeing here tonight. They've done a great job maintaining it, building it, rebuilding it, and maintaining it again. We've told you years and years, we tear this track up between sessions. You saw it happen today. As we finished with one class, we started the grandstand side and started to prep the track for this evening's show.
Indeed, Alan, and we're just moments away from starting our Salute to Agriculture tonight, brought to you by the good folks at Angry Farmer, who've had a great weekend here competition, but even a bigger weekend here by the support of the Budweiser Dairyland Super Nationals. We can go back to this event. You know, the first event here was not underneath NTPA sanction. The second one was. Before that, it was a club pull pretty much. And then, of course, the Wisconsin Tractor Pullers Association and member states and NTPA continued to grow and grow. And Tomah has gone right along with it. We've raised the track a little bit over the years. We've made countless improvements here. And it's been interesting because this tractor pull built the football stadium and has done so much for the community here. It's a wonderful partnership between Monroe County Agricultural Society and the administration of the city. From the Department of Public Works and Park and Rec, all of it benefits this area. And the benefits that happen here make it possible for people to come and enjoy Tomah. If I can just do one little plug here. Need to come back here when the snow's on the ground. If you like snowmobiling, you need to come here. Visit Tomah.com, can tell you who to talk to, where to go, but it really is a whole different vibe here. But again, this part of Wisconsin is so rich in its geography that it really is pretty amazing. So if you didn't know it, cranberries are grown here, and the best cranberries in the world are grown right here in this area of Wisconsin. Welcome to cranberry country, everybody. It's so very, very important to be able to have that part of agriculture here. And tonight, when we do our Salute to Agriculture, it really is about the men and women, the husbands, the wives, the children, the entire family that feeds the nation and the world. And that's why we take this time to do our Salute to Agriculture. And part of agriculture is to continue to make it move forward and continue to be a driving force in America. The young people need to get in there. So our young farmers and ranchers that are here and people that are involved in ag business, the scientific nature of it is so very, very important. And that's why we have tonight our Salute to American Agriculture. It's just not the dirt. It's not the soil. It's not the seed. It's all of those things in combination with all the different businesses that are impacted by the world of agriculture and all the different businesses that are owned by pullers who are involved in agriculture, not just in raising or growing crops or stock, but also for being able to make the science of agriculture happen. And that is so big, from trucking and diesel additives to everything that makes this the breadbasket of the world. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to session number 5 of the 2026 Budweiser Dairyland Super National Truck and Tractor Pull. For 51 years, we have gathered here on this fairgrounds to salute what makes this happen, and that's the spirit of America. Our salute to the American farmer presentation goes now. Entering our track is an example of America's future. Agriculture is more than an industry. It's more than a way of life built on early mornings, long days, dedication, resilience, and pride. Let's turn our attention to the track. We're proud to showcase a parade of vehicles and trucks donated by Larkin's GMC in Tomah. In the trucks are members of our local FFA chapters and 4-H clubs with their advisors and their leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the young leaders standing before you tonight that represent the future of agriculture and continued commitment to preserving our farming tradition for generations to come. Tonight, we'd like to recognize all the people in the agricultural industry, if we could, and have all current FFA and 4-H members rise, and then all former FFA and 4-H members rise as well. Anyone involved in agricultural, please rise at this time. We'd like to now introduce the groups that are in the back of our Larkin GMC pickups, as well as their advisors.
We have the FFA chapter and 4-H club from Tomah. FFA, wave to the crowd if you would, please. Where are you? You're there right there. Advisors Nelda Bailey, Andrew Simon, and Justin Eckelberg. Thank you for being here tonight. There you go, to my left and your right. Cashton FFA, Corey Blank is also with us tonight. Cashton, a big, big organization. Jolly Joiners, Annette Treasure and Jesse Flagg. Watertown FFA, Mike Gross and Alicia Schultz. West Salem FFA, Kimberly Erickson. And Brookwood FFA, J.C. Lind. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but I'm very proud of that blue corduroy jacket that those people are wearing. Congratulations to all of them. Congratulations to you as well.
Whether you're in the fields, on the road, or in the classroom, or at the barn, your commitment to agriculture does not go unnoticed. We thank you for your dedication, your resilience, and your role in feeding the world.
Somebody who would bail a family together with the soft, strong bonds of sharing, who would laugh and then sigh and then reply with smiling eyes when his son says that he wants to spend his life doing what Dad does. So God made a farmer. And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, then go to town and stay past midnight at a meeting of the school board. So God made a farmer. I need somebody with arms strong enough to wrestle a calf and yet gentle enough to deliver his own grandchild. Somebody to call hogs, tame cantankerous machinery, come home hungry, have to wait lunch until his wife's done feeding visiting ladies, then tell the ladies to be sure and come back real soon and mean it. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to sit up all night with a newborn colt and watch it die, then dry his eyes and say, maybe next year. I need somebody who can shape an axe handle from a persimmon sprout, shoe a horse with a hunk of car tire, who can make harness out of hay, wire, feed sacks, and shoe scraps, who planting time and harvest season will finish his 40-hour week by Tuesday noon, and then painin' from tractor back put in another 72 hours. So God made a farmer. God had to have somebody willing to ride the ruts at double speed to get the hay in ahead of the rain clouds and yet stop in midfield and race to help when he sees the first smoke from a neighbor's place. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody strong enough to clear trees and heave bales, yet gentle enough to yean lambs and wean pigs and tend the pink-combed pullets, who will stop his mower for an hour to splint the broken leg of a meadowlark. It had to be somebody who'd plow deep and straight and not cut corners. Somebody to seed, weed, feed, breed, and rake and disc and plow and plant and tie the fleece and strain the milk and replenish the self-feeder and finish a hard week's work with a 5-mile drive to church. Somebody who'd bail a family together with the soft, strong bonds of sharing, who would laugh and then sigh and then reply with smiling eyes when his son says that he wants to spend his life doing what Dad does. So God made a farmer.
Lord, bless this land you've given me. And may I always know as I tend each crop and critter, you're the one who helps them grow. Grant me the strength and wisdom. Please protect me from all harm. And thank you, Lord, for your gracious gifts. To all the farmers that are with us here tonight, we see you and we thank you. This pull tonight is for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would ask at this time that you would please rise for our presentation of colors from the Onalaska Recruiting Office.
We celebrate the 4th of July next week. The flag that flies here over Monroe County, the flag has flown over all types of events for 250 years. Stars were added as the United States grew, flown over wars and celebrations. Around the world, the red, white, and blue is recognized as people stand as we do here this evening. We need to remember that freedom is not free. We live in the land of the free because it is the home of the brave. We gather this evening because of the actions of one group, our veterans. To our veterans, we say thank you. To those who are newly returned from deployment, welcome home. To the families with men and women still deployed around the world and around this great country, know that we wait with you and we pray with you for their safe return. Let us never, ever forget, but let us forever remember. It is the veteran, not the preacher, that's given us the freedom of religion. The veteran, not the reporter, that's given us the freedom of the press. The veteran, not the poet, that's given us the freedom of speech. The veteran, not the campus organizer, who's given us the freedom to assemble as we have here this evening. The veteran, not the lawyer, that's given us the right to a fair trial. It is the veteran, not the politician, that's given us the right to vote. It is the veteran that salutes the flag. Sadly, it is the veteran that sleeps beneath it. All gave some, but some gave all. Ladies and gentlemen, Amanda Smoke and our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Amanda. God bless America. It's good to have that done. Very, very nicely done. To our 4-H and FFA, thank you for being here. We are proud of each and every one of you. To your advisors, job well done. Keep up the good work.
6 lanes, tail lights, red ants marching into the night. They disappear to the left and right again. Another supper from a sack, a 99-cent heart attack. I got a pounding head and an aching back, and the camel's buried in a big straw stack. I'm gonna live where the green grass grows, watching my corn pop up in rows. Every night be tucked in close to you. Raise our kids where the good Lord's rest, point our rocking chairs towards the west, and plant our dreams where the peaceful river flows, where the green grass grows. Well, I'm from a map dot, a stop sign on a black top.
Our thanks to Larkin GMC for their courtesy use of the vehicles, and especially to those folks in the blue jackets and their advisors here, with our salute to the American farmer. Ladies and gentlemen, this year all of our tech officials are sporting brand new snazzy official shirts. We'd like to thank the United States Army, Mack Trailer, and Fair Valley Performance for sponsoring the new look in 2026.
And let's talk about those officials that we have out there on the track. Marvin Epperson, of course, is our event manager. The head official is Dale Kwame. We've got Harold Phipps and Jeremy Bramer, Tom Ignazuski, Roger Coots, Pete Bummerin, and John Myers and Tom Berg. But wait a minute, I left somebody out. Who is it? Oh, I know. A man that told us the other night, I've done this for 26 years. This is my last event as a tractor pull official. Man that I've known for all the 26 years that he's been involved, and we had the opportunity to say thank you to him the other night. We're going to say thank you to him right now. Mr. Cal Parker, thank you, sir, for all the job that you have done keeping us safe on the track here at Tomah.
Laser stand, you ready? Ready. Laser check. How about your Harold Phipps finish line grandstand? You ready? Harold's ready. Tom Ignazuski, finish line infield. You ready? All right, Jeremy Bramer, Cal Parker at the 100. You guys ready? Jeremy's ready. Pete Pomerini and John Myers. You ready? Show this week, guys. Just have fun, be safe, get her done. Let's go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we're live here at Tomah, Wisconsin, full pull live as we're streaming to the world here tonight. Dan Mayer joined by Charles Poach. We've also got Doc Riley on hand, Alan Washburn, and Miles Krieger will be down trackside as we are ready to kick off the session number 5 of the 51st annual Budweiser Dairyland Super Nationals.
And tonight's test hook powered by science and brought to you by Hot Shot Secrets, where every product is lab formulated, dyno tested, and track proven. And it's time right now for the track proven portion and our test hook.
All right, as we look to track number 1, I'm going to call it in front of the grandstand tonight. This is our light super stock. competition. Kyle Carlin, Minerva, Ohio, the Bad Blood, is going to be our test hook in a class of 19. 19 light supers at 6,200 pounds. 20-inch drawbar. We'll explain why that's important in just a little bit. Let's see how Kyle gets along. He's our test hook. Hot Shot Secrets test hook powered by science. Right now with the Bad Blood, and we are underway. Kyle Carlin, Minerva, Ohio's Bad Blood. .334.055, 334.055. He accepts that hook. He gets to collect that Hot Shot Secret Test Hook Award tonight.
You know, it's really interesting over here. We're going to go super stock diesel pulling. And I will tell you something very, very interesting. The points leader from this event is a super stock diesel competitor that has more hooks at this place, more wins at this place than anyone else in the field combined. We'll tell you who that is. Number one in the points coming into tonight. He's getting ready to hook here shortly, but right now, sleepless nights. Gary Belcher coming into play.
Yeah, absolutely, Doc. And, of course, a lot of the fans out there, they already know the answer to your trivia question right there. But, yeah, we'll see them a little bit later on. Is great field of super stock diesel tractors. We talked about that yesterday and had just an outstanding show with the super stock diesel tractors. And, of course, we got that diesel that's running in this class tonight, of course, that beat the alcohols, swept them here this weekend. So, yeah, we got to look forward to that as well.
As we look down to the track, we had a great pass at 334.055. Charles, as you sit and watch this particular class getting underway, what is the first thing you think about light super stocks? The first thing.
First thing about light super?
Yeah.
Can you control it?
Yeah, exactly right. That answers that question. Thank you, sir. Back to you, Doc.
That's been something that's happened here all weekend long. This infield track, there's a little downhill slope to it, and it sucks you right to that sideline. And earlier we saw other classes trying to cut across from the left sideline and end up by the right sideline. That didn't work. We've seen people try to muscle it through in the middle of the track. Take a look at the replay. Still, 3:45.01 goes out of bounds. He's the test puller, so he'll have the option to drop, come back, or drop six or drop the last.
How many have we had that have had the option and have had to utilize that option after a monster pass? That is an absolute whale of a pass right there. And he's out here near under 350 feet, standing on the brake to keep it inside that chalk line. Unfortunately, did not work out in his favor. And obviously, he'll use that option and come back as we get ready to go back to the grandstand side with a young man who has just been phenomenal lately.
And Miles, that's a great point you brought up in the test hook right here. You've got that option to come back. Guy's going to come back at the bottom of the class.
Sir.
Cody Chiswick, armed and dangerous. Very unusual to see Chiswick bounce the front end like that. 4 significant bounces, took probably 10 feet out of him very, very quickly.
Good news and bad news. Over here on the infield track of the Super Stock Diesel, they're going to put a block in it, so we are restarting. That means the man from Ackerley, Texas will be your test puller.
And of course, young Cody, number 2 spot there on yesterday afternoon, in contention for that overall weekend championship, as we give one of those away for all of the classes you'll see in competition here tonight. So yeah, it's not just the win here this weekend, it's the overall weekend title as well. Very, very prestigious here in Tomah.
So our class will start fresh and anew here on the Superstock Diesel side. Our Superstock Diesel brought to you by Amanthe and the Millstone Material here, longtime sponsors of the Budweiser Dairyland Super Nationals. Here comes the Red Horse out of Ackerley, Texas. These boys have been to Tomah for a number of years, dating way back. Stan Blagrave leads the field here of folks from Texas. Cotton farmers out there, and boy, they've had some rain, which they've needed for years. They've had drought there, and that's kind of affected their pulling schedule a little bit. But Stan comes up here. He's a game competitor every single time they come to this track or any Grand National circuit. And they love coming up here just for the variety. Steve, Stan Blagrave, and the entire family come together and do an outstanding job with the Red Horse. And again, the same process here with our diesels. That smoke going to turn. And it will have a ton of horsepower. You will hear the old Red Horse come to life big time in just a moment. You got to wait for the process to unfold. Oh, no. An outstanding run all the way through. Wheels are up out just perfectly. And then you see that geyser, that gush coming throughout the side shields all the way from Ackerley, Texas. 20-plus hours to get here. Your moment to shine, and it all goes away. 3:03 and 6 for the Blagraves. 3:03 and 6. That is so disappointing. And you can see the puddle starting to form there.
Light Super Slide, that's Kevin Lynn. Unity, Wisconsin, the bomb.
All right, the crafty veteran out of Unity, Wisconsin, Kevin Lynn, a 2-time winner here in Tomah over the years. And light Superstock action brings out the bomb here on Saturday night. Lays down a nice run, get a challenge for that number 1 spot.
Kevin Lynn with a 3:19.645 in our light Superstock competition. 3:19.645.
3:19 and 6, second place rather. You know, a lot of steering input there, and your hands are full. Your hands and your feet do a lot of work when you're going down the track. Stan Blagrave will take that distance, accept it. 3:03 and 6. You would please put your hands together for a true Texan, a great gentleman right here, and an incredible Grand National competitor.
Well, thank you, Doc. Standing here at that 250-foot mark here on the infield side with Kyle Carlin, and you start things off on the light Superstock side. The new tractor's working. You're happy. You have to evaluate everything you do in that test pass, and you can't worry about who's coming right behind you. It's got to be you and your tractor.
Nope, we pretty much ran the same exact setup we ran yesterday afternoon. It worked good then. Figured the track was going to be just as good like always up here, and it seemed to work.
Absolutely. Now, the new tractor and you are really, really happy together. Now we start to turn the wick up just even more and go to work even harder, right?
Yes, so it's got a Blackburn motor in it. Terry kind of looked stuff over this afternoon and gave us a blessing to put a little more power in it, and we did, and it definitely helped, and away we go.
Folks, he's got to sit back and watch now. I'm not going to give him the curse and tell him he's going to meet me in the top 3, but it's going to take a good one to get by him. Congratulations, sir, on an awesome pass. Folks, it's Kyle Carlin, that Bad Blood entry.
Thank you.
You know, you hear a lot of announcers say this person needs no introduction, but this is the guy that literally needs no introduction to the Twin Tracks here at Tomah, Wisconsin. Been here for the late 80s. One thing's remained the same. The guy always puts forward his best foot, but also the Red Line Fever returns out of Dayton, Minnesota. It's Esden Lane. Esden with roots here. Esden currently right now, the Red Line Fever, your points leader coming into tonight. And he has taken more laps down this track than anyone that's currently entered in tonight's event. Been an innovator, but he always has an incredible work ethic to get it done. Take a look at our replay right here on the big screen, and you'll see there it all goes south for the blade graves. Smoke, can't see what's underneath the side shields, but the aftermarket, the after effect of that is oil on the ground and inside the side shields. So that is tough. Esden Lane, beautiful looking tractor, side shields incredible. Things have changed not necessarily to the exterior of the tractor, but underneath the hood. Always been an innovator, and, you know, no CAD/CAM design here. It's all, you think this will work, you think this will work, you think this will work, and they make it work. Roots are deep here in Tomah for this guy. He was pulling here when he was just a pup. Hard charging Red Line Fever. There we go. And he'll start the process on our 8,000-pound super stock. He's still blowing some smoke greens. Having a tough time getting the candles lit, but Esler will stay with it. He's patient. He knows what's going on.
Pull me up. Terry Blackburn. Pull to the left, right at the very, very end.
Esden's got it lit. He's ready to roll here. You betcha! The wheels go up, the box tops out, and he is still chugging forward. The Red Line Fever. .345 and 3, 3:45 and 3.
What defines the light super stock? Both alcohol and diesel fuel tractor, 6,200 pounds, including the driver. Tire size at 30.5, 32. Maximum drawbar height is 20 inches. Limited to a 505 as far as cubic inch displacement of the motor. It makes it a driver's class. It becomes the classic. Everybody's the same. Everybody has to run exactly the same thing. You make it work for you on the track. It's what we call a driver's class.
And looking at Esden Lane's replay, we'll amplify what Alan has said. 8,000-pound super stock diesel, 650 cubic inches, maximum 4 turbochargers, limit 540 diesel, the only fuel allowed. And the diesel super stock has to maintain that stock appearance with the hood and grill in place. Tire size, 30.5 by 32s, and the drawbar at 20 inches. Next up on our side will be another guy who's had a great success here. The family has Joe Degenhardt in the Diggin' Hard. Next up on our super stock diesel side.
Marvin would tell you all weekend long, sir, you've been at it. I just watched you sprint, jumping over a tow rope, grab yourself a neck collar for somebody. You're a busy guy. We're on Saturday night at Tomah. How you doing?
I'll tell you what, this afternoon was real trying with the wind and the sun and trying to keep it wet from many rods, but we made a good show out of it. Made a good show all day Friday, all day today. It's going to be awesome tonight. Look at the crowd. We're all going to have a good time. Tracks are great. Let's get her done.
Folks, will you do me a favor and give these officials that have been working all weekend long a really nice round of applause under the direction of Mr. Marvin Epperson. We are grateful for our safety of our drivers. They put it first. There's no question.
Simply called insane, extremely insane. As a matter of fact, Larry Phillips out of Pine Grove, Kentucky, on the line right now, under green. A little less each time. 319 for Kevin Lynn, 318 for Terry Blackburn, 318 and 1 for Larry Phillips, getting a little less each time down the track. But the man out on top, we've already heard from, and that's Kyle Carlin with a 334.055, leading the class of light supers, class of 19.
Superstock diesel side on the Busch and Bud Light track. Joe Degenhardt finished third, and Hutchinson second. And Hutchinson, so a good weekend there to kick off the Grand National Tour. Had an 11th finish last night. Joe would like to be able to make his way out of Tomah into the rest of the season and increase his point standing. Right now, the Degenhardt isn't where they want to be in 8th place. They always run well here at Tomah. Here we come. One of the advantages sitting here on the infield side is you can see, especially with these tractors, the footwork. And he stabbed that brake at about 270 to keep him in the center of the track. Joe Degenhardt, 3:14 and 6. 3:14 and 6. There's a good look there. The wheels are up, and he's tracking pretty much into it. The box comes down on the Bull Live weight transfer machine. Mesa Pico is proud to be a celebrant their 31st year of sponsorship with the National Tractor Pullers Association, and that makes it one of the longest motorsports sponsorships in any form of motorsports. Over 113 years, Pico has been producing heavy-duty lubricants, and they've got it for your farm or for your fleet. trucks and tractors. They've got it all. 100% American made, but not sold in stores. You'll see the guys in the Sempico hats here and the white shirts, or you can get information at sempico.com. Thank you for your 31 years of support to the National Tractor Pullers Association.
Class sponsor for the Super Stocks tonight, the Light Super Stock Degenhardt equipment, your local source for Coon and Bobcat equipment. You need parts, sales, or expert service, give them a call or stop in and see them in Norwalk. Highway 71 in Norwalk. Degenhardt equipment, thank you for stepping up as our Light Super Stock class sponsor tonight. We appreciate it. On the track, Leonard Buck comes out of Morristown, Indiana, just outside of the city of Indianapolis. Mr. Rex Kuhn in the driver's seat of this one. He's ready to do battle. 334 seems to be a little more difficult to obtain. Once Kyle laid it down, everybody else is coming up 15 and 18 feet short.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll see if the orange one can hang on. We got any John Deere fans out there tonight? Where's our green fans? This is a tough one right here, Light Super Stock side.
Rex has an issue. He's going to drop. We'll get him moved away, and that comes back to the side.
Guys had a pretty good weekend here. Tyler and the Born Green. After last night, 12th currently in our points here. As we bring forward Superstock Diesel's kind of the backbone for years and years and years. It was good to see that the Hall operation, the Hall brothers, and that whole group had an opportunity to really shine. I remember back when Lyle Hull was here in the Minneapolis Moline G1000 Vista, and if he got by 150 feet without a loud bang, that was considered something. And that was in the days when everyone's like, well, that alcohol ain't gonna work in a tractor.
Yeah, absolutely. Him and Craig Peterson, like you said, for so many years, worked on that fuel, and then they finally were starting to get things going, and that's what it takes.
And it always made horsepower. Made incredible horsepower. They had that part figured out, but you didn't want to poof the side shields. Building a boost, and let's see what we got here. Born Green, one for you, John Deere fan. Going for the right sideline to the left sideline. A little something different.
Yeah, absolutely. Waverly, Iowa, coming out of outlaw country. Tyler Buckman, good to see him here in Tomah. He's a tough running green machine.
3-13 and 6. 3-13 and 6. Unofficially, third spot right now. 50-50 raffles out and about right now. Buy your tickets from the girl with the bucket on her head. Buckethead girl. We'll be selling them huge tonight. Good old Buckethead girl. Hi, Buckethead girl.
Now, guys, what did we end up with the 50-50 last night? I think we were, what, 4,700, right in that range?
Yes, we were. I mean, good event. Like to see a lot more than that tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd like to break 5 tonight, easily.
Think you're right. I like to make 51-50.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. As we'll roll Rex Kuhn back to get him fixed up, and he'll be back after another 5 or 5. This is Brian Bold, the alter ego out of Mount Vernon, Missouri.